The biggest lie you've been sold is that you have time, that you can figure it out later, that success is a long, leisurely walk through a garden of options. It's not. It's a sprint through a battlefield. And every second you hesitate, the world eats away at you. You don't realize how brutal this game is because you've been living too soft, too slow, too cautious. You think the world will wait for you to get ready. It won't. The world rewards the man who moves, not the one who thinks about moving. Let me tell you something simple, and I want it to tattoo itself on your brain. Hesitation is a killer. It doesn't stab you in the heart. It poisons you slowly. You don't even notice it at first. It disguises itself as logic, planning, preparation. You tell yourself you're being smart, that you're making sure everything's perfect before you begin. But in reality, you're just scared. Scared to leap, scared to fail, scared to look stupid. And so you wait. One day turns into 1 week. 1 week becomes 1 month. And before you know it, a year has passed and nothing's changed. You're still sitting in the same room with the same thoughts, having done nothing. Now compare that to the man who doesn't wait. He doesn't sit around waiting for permission. He doesn't ask the world to give him confidence. He creates it. He sees the same opportunity, feels the same fear, but moves anyway. He acts, even if he doesn't have all the answers, even if the plan isn't perfect, because he understands something most don't. Motion beats meditation. Progress beats perfection. Speed creates power. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to start. Start messy. Start scared. Just start. You're waiting for clarity. Here's the truth. You only get clarity by moving. You only find out what works by trying, failing, adjusting, and moving again. There's no magic moment where everything makes sense. The fog clears when you push forward, not when you sit on your couch analyzing the map. Do you think the most successful people had perfect blueprints? They didn't. They had fire. They had urgency. They had the mindset of I'll figure it out as I go. And that's exactly what they did. They figured it out while everyone else was stuck in analysis paralysis. Comfort is a trap. You think it's your friend. It's not. It's a drug. It sedates you. It convinces you that staying still is safe, that waiting is wise, that tomorrow is guaranteed. But while you're wrapped up in comfort, time is bleeding out. The competition is moving. The opportunities are shifting. The world is evolving. And you're just there, breathing, existing, but not living, not advancing, not dominating. Understand this. Life doesn't hand you success. It doesn't care how much potential you have. It doesn't care how good your ideas are. It cares about what you do. It measures your worth in execution, in how fast you can go from idea to action, from dream to reality. Everyone talks, everyone fantasizes, but very few actually move. That's why most people stay broke, stay irrelevant, stay average, because they think too much and act too little. You want to change your life. Then stop thinking like the average man. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. It doesn't exist. You create the perfect moment by showing up and dominating whatever situation you're in. You want to start a business. Start now. Want to get in shape? Start today. Want to build your brand? Start creating. Waiting is weakness. Speed is strength. The faster you move, the faster you grow. You want to win in this game. Then you better be addicted to speed. Look at every powerful man in history. They weren't the smartest. They weren't the most talented. They were the most decisive. They made bold moves when others froze. They saw windows of opportunity and jumped through them. Head first, no hesitation. And because of that, they carved their names into history. Meanwhile, the hesitant became spectators. They watched. They wondered. They wished, but they didn't act, and that's all that matters in the end. Action. I've seen this too many times. Guys with insane potential, big dreams, but no urgency. They talk a good game. They tell you their goals, their visions. But ask them what they've actually done, and it's silence, because deep down they're scared to commit, scared to fail, scared to look bad, and so they settle for the illusion of progress, reading books. Watching videos, listening to podcasts, all great, but if there's no execution, you're just entertaining yourself. You're dressing up procrastination and calling it personal development. There's a reason success looks so far away for most people. It's because they're slow. They take too long to make decisions, too long to take risks, too long to pivot when things aren't working. The guy who wins isn't always the smartest. He's just the fastest learner. The fastest mover, he's relentless. While others are thinking, he's doing. While others are sleeping, he's building. While others are scared, he's conquering. That's the attitude you need if you want to dominate. If you want to rise, you need to operate like every second matters, because it does. Time is your most valuable currency. You don't get refunds. You don't get do-overs. You spend it once, and it's gone forever. So why are you wasting it? Why are you treating it like you've got an unlimited supply? You don't. You've got a clock ticking above your head, and you don't even know when it's going to hit zero. That should scare you. That should fuel you, but most of you don't feel it. You don't move with urgency because you're numb. Numb from the distractions, the comfort, the excuses. You've normalized delay, normalized inaction. And that's exactly why you're stuck. You don't need another year. You don't need another degree. You need a fire under your ass. You need to wake up and move like everything depends on it, because it does. The winners in life aren't superhuman. They're not gifted. They're simply men who understood the value of speed, who built momentum and never let it die. Because when you build momentum, life bends to your will. You gain confidence. You gain clarity. You attract opportunities. People want to work with you. Doors open. Things shift, but none of that happens if you don't move, if you don't act, if you don't decide that from this moment forward, you will never hesitate again. Hesitation kills momentum. Momentum is power. Power builds empires, and empires change lives. That's the formula. Simple, ruthless, true. You're not stuck in life because the world is unfair. You're stuck because you move like a snail in a race against cheetahs. In a world that rewards speed, decisiveness, and aggression, you're out here trying to be cautious, slow, and calculated like it's still the 1800s. This isn't a chess match. This is war. Every second you hesitate, someone else is moving. Someone hungrier, someone who doesn't care about perfection, someone who sees a crack of opportunity and kicks the door down before it shuts. The truth most people can't handle is that action beats theory. Every time, you can sit there with a 5-year plan, a vision board, and a smart strategy. But if you don't act, all you've got is a fantasy. Dreams without execution are delusions. You think overanalyzing makes you wise. It doesn't. It makes you a coward. People who win in this world are people who strike while the iron's hot. While everyone else is preparing, the winners are already 10 moves ahead. Let me tell you something uncomfortable. Your success isn't waiting for you. It's passing you by right now. Opportunities don't wait. They don't care about yourself, doubt, your fear, or your need to think about it. Opportunity rewards the man who sees it, believes it, and acts. Without hesitation, without approval, without fear of failure. That's the mindset it takes to win in the modern world. But you get an idea, then you stall. You want to start a business. You think about it for 3 weeks. You want to launch a brand, you watch 50 YouTube videos about it. You want to invest in yourself, but instead you save that money just in case. You bury your future in a graveyard of indecision. You kill momentum before it's even born. And then you wonder why nothing changes. It's because you don't move. The marketplace doesn't reward potential. It rewards performance, execution, momentum. People aren't making millions because they're geniuses. They're making millions because they're relentless. They move, test, fail, adapt, and keep moving fast. Speed is the cheat code. It separates the hungry from the hesitant. You can be smart, talented, and have all the resources in the world, but if you can't act fast, you'll still lose to the guy who's less equipped but more aggressive. This world is brutal. It doesn't care about your excuses. It doesn't care if you didn't feel ready. It doesn't care if your upbringing was hard. It only cares about who moves, who builds, who executes. Who creates momentum? You can sit there with your whiteboard and your journal and your 12-week planner, but if you're not out there making moves, you're playing yourself. Fast action is the currency of success. Period. Look at any winner in any field. They're not waiting. They're not pausing to check how they feel. They're not asking 10 people for permission. They're not spending hours tweaking their logo. They move. They launch, they go to market, they test, they break things, they rebuild, they're in motion always, and that movement is what creates learning, improvement, opportunity. But if you sit on your hands, nothing comes. You stagnate, you decay, you rot. Fear is the disease, action is the cure. Every time you hesitate, fear wins, and fear is relentless. It multiplies in silence. You give it space by standing still, and it will take over your mind. You think you're being cautious, but what's really happening is fear is wrapping its arms around you and whispering, "Let's just wait." And you believe it, you call it being smart. It's not smart, it's surrender. You know what's smart? Risk, movement, momentum. Even the wrong move, executed with commitment, teaches more than sitting around waiting for the perfect one. Most people never get anywhere because they're trying to line up all the lights green before they leave their driveway. You'll die waiting. The lights are never all green. Winners hit the gas anyway, and by the time you're ready, they're already lapping you. Speed isn't reckless, it's powerful. Controlled speed, calculated aggression. These are the tools of high-level performers. The world wants you docile, slow, scared, compliant. It wants you hesitating, second, guessing, overthinking, because a man who acts fast is dangerous, he's unpredictable, he's hard to control, he's always ahead. And when you're always ahead, no one can catch you. That's how you dominate. Let's get something straight. Slow is deadly. In business, slow means lost money. In life, slow means missed chances. In relationships, slow means irrelevance. In mindset, slow means decay. Your entire world must revolve around speed and precision. You think a lion surveys the jungle for hours before attacking. No, he sees prey, he moves, he eats, done. That's nature. That's life. That's what winning looks like. The myth of preparation is just another lie sold to keep you stuck. You think successful people waited until they were ready. No, they started unprepared. They built while they moved. They made decisions under pressure. They became ready by acting. They didn't wait for the green light. They were the green light. That's the difference between those who win and those who wish. Look around you. The world is filled with people waiting for validation, waiting for guarantees, waiting for signs. It's pathetic. The man who waits dies poor. Waiting is the enemy. Movement is life. If you want to win, you have to make speed your identity. You have to move so fast that the world struggles to keep up, that your competitors are too stunned to respond, that opportunities can't help but fall into your lap because you're always where the action is. Every time you hesitate, remember this, someone else is acting. While you debate whether to start, they already did. While you weigh the risks, they already failed and adapted. While you're still watching, they're already earning. You're not falling behind because you're not smart enough. You're falling behind because you're too damn slow. Speed beats everything, in war, in money, in life. The first to move controls the game. You have to kill the part of you that wants comfort. The part that wants everything to be safe and calculated. That voice is weak. That voice is soft. That voice is the same one that told you to hit snooze this morning. It's the same one that said maybe tomorrow. It's the same voice that will keep you broke, average, and irrelevant. Silence it, replace it with command, with fire, with speed. Success is not an art. It's a tempo, it's rhythm, it's momentum. You don't get into momentum by planning. You get there by doing. Action fuels belief. Every move you make, every task you finish, builds a brick in your fortress. You become unstoppable not by standing still and thinking, but by moving, by acting before you feel ready, by stepping into the unknown and figuring it out as you go. You think you need more clarity. You don't. Clarity comes from motion. Action reveals answers. Speed exposes truth. You'll never find your path standing still. You find it by running, sprinting, crashing, adjusting, and running again. That's how winners live. That's how empires are built. That's how legacies are forged. You want peace of mind. It doesn't come from safety. It comes from confidence, and confidence comes from knowing that no matter what life throws, you'll respond fast, hard, and with force. That's real security, not savings in a bank, not a backup plan, but your ability to adapt, your ability to act under pressure. That's what separates the predator from the prey. It's not about being fearless, it's about acting despite fear. That's where growth lives. That's where greatness begins. In that moment when everything inside you screams to pause, and you move anyway, that's what makes you different. That's what makes you powerful. That's what makes you dangerous. Don't be the man who watches. Be the man who moves. Be the one who strikes first. Be the one who builds the world others only dream of. Because if you don't, you already know the alternative. A slow death, dying in the waiting room of life, regretting the chances you didn't take. Watching others live the life you wanted, not because you weren't capable, but because you didn't move. You've made it this far, and now it's time to burn the brakes. You don't coast when you're this close to impact. You double down, you go harder. That's what this part of life is about, momentum. Once you start acting fast, you must sustain it. You must build pressure like a steam engine and never release the valve. Because here's the truth, speed isn't just a decision, it becomes your identity. Once you adopt the mindset that hesitation equals death, you start noticing things other people miss. You start seeing how slow they move, how long they take to reply to messages, how they overthink everything, how they need 3 opinions before taking a step. That's why they stay broke, unknown, weak. Their lives are built around the illusion of comfort and safety, which only leads to slavery. You start seeing that their entire system, school, work, even entertainment, is designed to make them comfortable enough to never move, and you broke the rhythm, you snapped out of the matrix, now you're dangerous. Now you're moving too fast for the chains to catch you. You've got to understand. Once you're in motion, the game changes. You don't wait for the next opportunity, you create it. While everyone else is sitting around, waiting for something magical to land in their lap, you're building it with your own 2 hands. That's the difference between those who win and those who rot. The winners don't care if the timing is perfect. They make it perfect. They take the shot, miss, and shoot again before anyone notices the failure, and eventually they land it. They always land it, because failure doesn't scare them anymore. What scares them is standing still. Look at the real elite. Look at anyone who's built something meaningful. None of them were slow. None of them took years to figure it out. They went in full speed, head first. They learned while moving. That's the secret everyone hides. They didn't start with all the answers. They didn't wait until they had a degree, a mentor, a plan. They just moved, and in moving, they attracted the answers, the mentors, the success. Motion is magnetic, and let's be clear, this isn't just about business or making money. This is about your physical health. This is about your relationships. This is about your legacy. Every area of your life either benefits from your speed or suffers from your stagnation. You can't delay getting strong. You can't delay fixing your habits. You can't delay working on your mind, because while you're stalling, life is shortening. The people you love are dying. Opportunities are fading. The window is closing, and only the fast get through it. Think about war. In a battlefield, the soldier who hesitates dies. The one who moves first, strikes first, dominates. That's life. That's business. That's love. The world is a battlefield, and if you're not moving fast, you're already bleeding. The difference is, out here, it just takes longer to realize you're dying. You're slowly losing everything while lying to yourself that you're safe. That's the real trap, delusion. You must become ruthless with time, obsessed, protective. Treat every minute like a currency, because it is. Every second you hesitate is wealth, power, and influence slipping through your fingers. That's what slow people never understand. They think speed is stressful, but speed brings clarity. When you move fast, you don't have time for fear. You don't have time to second guess yourself. You're forced to focus. You're forced to win. You must train yourself to eliminate the useless. Cut the people who slow you down. Cut the distractions. Cut the routines that waste time. That includes mindless scrolling, drama, complaining. These are the parasites of speed. They exist only to leech your momentum, and you must be brutal about killing them, because once you're in motion, any resistance threatens the mission, and the mission is everything. If something doesn't help you move faster, it's your enemy. People will call you harsh. They'll say you're too intense. Let them. You're not here to be liked. You're here to conquer. You're here to escape mediocrity, not blend in with it. Let the weak have their comfort. Let them wrap themselves in blankets of excuses. You're not them. You're different. You have fire in your chest, and now you have speed on your side. There will come a moment, if it hasn't already, where you're tired, where you'll want to slow down, rest, take a break. That's when you remember this. Comfort is the beginning of death. The second you slow down, you lose the edge, you lose the urgency, you let the enemy catch up. That's when doubt sneaks back in. That's when procrastination seduces you. That's when weakness starts whispering sweet lies to your soul. And if you listen, you'll fall, just like everyone else. Don't fall. This is why momentum matters more than motivation. Motivation is a spark. Momentum is a wildfire. You keep pushing, and eventually the world moves out of your way. You move so fast, so hard, so relentlessly, that you leave no room for resistance. You become a force, and the world respects force. Even your past, no matter how ugly, is powerless against motion. You can't fix what's behind you, but you can outpace it. Your trauma, your mistakes, your regrets. They can't hold you if you're sprinting forward. The reason most people drown in their past is because they sit in it. They relive it. They feed it. But if you outpace your pain, it becomes irrelevant. It can't hurt what it can't catch. There's no shortcut to this. No hack, no cheat code. It's raw speed and focused aggression. It's making decisions fast and backing them up with insane action. It's waking up before the competition, staying up later than the week, and executing at every level. It's not for everyone, and that's the point. If everyone could do it, it wouldn't mean anything. You'll face resistance. People will mock your pace. They'll say, slow down, enjoy life. They'll say, you're doing too much. But they're not where you want to be. Their opinion is irrelevant. Their voices are background noise. You're not in this to relax. You're in this to dominate. Even now, you might feel the pressure building inside your chest. That's your real self waking up. That's the beast inside realizing it's been sleeping for too long. Let it rise. Let it burn everything that's been holding you back. That fire, that urgency, that's who you really are. Once you taste this way of life, there's no going back. You won't be able to tolerate the slow, the safe, the predictable. You'll crave velocity. You'll crave results. You'll crave the pain that comes with pushing hard, because that pain tells you you're still alive. It tells you you're still fighting. You weren't born to wait. You weren't born to hesitate. You were born to attack, to crush, to rise fast and hard, and once you act fast, you live fast, not recklessly, but purposefully. You chase down your future with the fury of a warrior. You stop apologizing. You stop explaining. You let your results speak. Keep moving. Keep attacking. Keep evolving. The world is yours if you're fast enough to take it. So now you understand the clock has always been ticking, not for the world, for you. You don't have forever. You don't have someday. You have now. Every second that slips away is a second you never get back. That's the truth they don't teach you. They want you to believe you have time. You don't. You either act fast or you decay in slow motion like everyone else. This world doesn't reward hesitation. It rewards execution. And while everyone else is stuck overanalyzing, overplanning, and overthinking, you'll be out there. Outworking, outmoving, outwinning. Speed is not just a tactic. It's a weapon, and if you dare to use it, you'll destroy the limits they tried to place on you. So move, not tomorrow, not next week, now, before life passes you by, before death taps you on the shoulder and says, your time's up. Because you weren't born to die slow, you were born to dominate fast.